time I was on here was in March.
Let's talk about all this with free to work and so be quick.
Okay.
सिर्फ यही नहीं बल्कि हफ्ते के दौरान प्राइमरी स्कूल के बच्चों को भी बूस्टर क्लासेस दी जाती हैं ताकि उनकी पढ़ाई में भी कोई फर्क न आए। इस सहूलत से फायदा उठाने के लिए हमारी वेबसाइट risingstaracademy.org.uk पर जाएं या फोन नंबर 0121227195 पर हमसे राब्ता करें। शुक्रिया।
Alaikum, welcome back to my second part of the Community Talk Show. You're listening to me, Mohammed Amin, your host for this evening, and the second part of the show will be in English. You're listening to us on www.aapkiawaz.co.uk. You can listen to us on the Radio Garden app. You can advertise and sponsor a program on 07944 808 141. That's 07944 808 141. My second part of my program will be our local community activist, Mukhtarim, who does a lot of work in the community. Bless him. He does not need any recognition whatsoever, and that's what he's kept on saying to me. But I think it's important that we bring these unsung heroes and we have a quick chat with them. And Mukhtarim, welcome to my show. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for coming on. It's very grateful that you made an effort to come and see me. I know you constantly said that, you do it for the betterment of the community. So give me a quick overview. What you've been doing in the last few weeks?
I cleaned my road up over a week back, and I took about 7.5 hours on my road, and it was filthy, and I don't want to wait for the council to clean it because by the time then they come down, it was a mess. And I was picking up syringes, laughing gas, and all kind of rubbish on my road. And I even picked up a dead mouse, and I put it in the back. But my road was filthy. I don't like seeing the area filthy and dirty. And half of our faith is cleanliness, so that's half of our faith. So we should take pride and clean up our roads and streets, because when they're in that kind of state, you have rats running around, and most of them back you see dead rats on the road, and mice chewing at bags that are left lying around, which is filthy, and I don't like seeing it like that. And I also helped out with the community in Adley Park, and we picked up quite a lot of rubbish. And before that, I did a litter pick in Warden Park. And a few years back, I was with the councillor Miriam, and we did a few roads, and we had a few other people with us. But the other week, when I was doing my own road, nobody wanted to volunteer and help me. But it's all right. I did the road on my own, and I cleaned all the road. But the community was nice. They all gave me drinks and cold water to help me out. And they were telling me to stop. You're doing too much, and go back home and have a rest. But I didn't. I continued with my work, and I cleaned the area, because I like to see as clean as like an area like Solihull. I want it spotless like Solihull. I don't want it filthy, because most of the roads in Allenbach are all filthy. There's all rubbish, fly tipping, mattresses, everything around, and that's one thing I don't like seeing.
I remember that day, viewers and listeners. It was a lovely summer's day, 22 degrees centigrade, lovely hazy sunshine, and brothers started mid-morning and carried on until early evening, and I think you did about eight or 10 bags on your own.
Yes.
And it was all just litter that was just on your road. Now, if we can have people like yourself doing that, what's the message we can give out to the community to say, come on, take pride in Saltley, take pride in where you live? And how did you feel at the end of that day? Because I remember going out to see you and making sure that all that rubbish was collected the following day. But how did you feel at the end of that day? Obviously, you were shattered because of the weather.
Yes, I was very tired, and I was still very thirsty. When I got home, I was drinking even more water. But most of the community gave me water, but I think I was very dehydrated at the time. But I just wanted my road to be clean. And so I took all the litter I could find, all the cans of rubbish and bottles, broken glass. I even swept up the glass that was on the road because people are drinking alcohol bottles and smashing them on the road. And I found loads and loads of nails. And on two occasions, my car had nails in, and I picked up all the nails that were there and threw them in the bags. That's how bad my road was.
So basically, um, you had rubbish that was built up over a couple of weeks, and also nails. Now, nails obviously could puncture tires, and it's quite expensive to replace a tire. Furthermore, if you've got people walking on the footpaths and you've got nails, it's quite a health hazard. What what do you think that drives people to throw rubbish on the streets? Where does all this rubbish come from?
Yeah, it probably comes from the householders when they're doing the houses up, and they just throw them outside. And sometimes they hire a skip, they put them in a skip, but then it drops out of the skip, I think.
And then when the skip's collected, I'm assuming the rest just sits there on the pavement, and then good citizens like you come along and tidy that up for them. And you know what do you think we need to send out as a message to the community to say, you live at this number, make sure in front of your house the garden, the path is clean. And if you can help your neighbour on the left hand side and the right hand side, so if you take responsibility for 2-3 houses, your neighbour takes responsibility for a couple of houses, suddenly before you know it, the whole road's clean.
Yes, that's correct. We need to take pride in our area. So, just clean your footpath and just keep it clean at the end of the day. And if you go into parks or anything, look for your bin and put your litter in the bin. I remember when I was cleaning Warden Park, and I cleaned it all, and there's a group having a picnic. I said to them, there's a bin there, make sure you put it in. But they didn't. They just threw it back, and then I had to clean it all up.
And then it's like, you may remember we did, the radio was involved as well. We did Adley Park in the summer, and only took a couple of hours. Look how much rubbish we picked up from Adley Park. And some of that rubbish, the tin cans were there for well over a year. The fact the grass started to grow over them, and we had to literally extract that tin can from the grass before we had to put it in the bin bag. And, generally, what message do you want to say to these people who use these public parks with their rubbish?
There shouldn't be fly tipping in the park. They should find a local bin and put it in there at the end of the day. When I was cleaning, I even found dirty nappies in the bushes. That's how dirty the park was. It was very, very filthy. And then after all the community got involved, Mohammed Amin got involved, and my community got involved, the waste warriors got involved, everybody helped, and the local residents got involved. The park was so clean and spotless.
This was a concerted community effort. But again, these public parks are for use for the community, and it's our responsibility to take our litter home. I still can't understand if, for argument's sake, the bin hasn't been emptied. What difference does it make to put that crisp packet and put that drink can in your carrier bag and just take it home? Why do people still think that they still have to throw it on the floor and expect somebody else to pick them up?
People are born idle and lazy. I've got a little grandson who's 4 years old. When he's eating his ice lolly, he goes, "Granddad, there's a bin. I want to put it in the bin," and he's only 4. So why can't everybody else be like that?
And the other thing is, I've seen you in the community walking around. Wherever you've seen an obstacle, where there's a obstacle on the pavement, or wherever there's some fly tipping, you're always on your phone, taking a photograph, recording it and reporting it. And, you don't say, "Oh, well, it's not my road, I don't want to do this." I've seen you on more than one occasion to do that. And that's what we need. We need more volunteers like yourself from the community to come home. And I distinctly remember that, because of the nature of the job that you do, there are times when you have time available during the week. And that's what you do. You literally go around and reporting. And I've seen you on the all your entries on the reporting app, and this is an app which is readily available to everybody to download, and it's a Fix My Street app. You can download this on from Play Store, Google Play Store, or the App Store, and then you literally make sure your location is on. You literally make sure that you take the photograph, you cover the location, put the postcode in, and within the next 3 to 4 days, that item is picked up by the local authority and cleaned. But why should he be there in the first place? It's always my bone of contention. We've got recycling centres. We've got a recycling centre in Tyseley. We've got a recycling centre at Castle Brom. You book online, you can take your carload in, and I know you've done it many a time.
Yeah, all you do is you go online, you give them your vehicle registration number and the model of your car, and then on the email they'll give you a time, a slot. It's normally a 15-minute time slot, and you can take whatever you want to take up there. And so there's also an initiative started by Majid, the councillor for Majid. They've got these trucks that where you can put all your recycling stuff in. But just recently on my last housing liaison board meeting, they said that initiative is not really working because the lorries they use, they fill up within 2 hours. So it's they're trying to help the council. And
well, those lorries that you have mentioned, we have asked the local councillors to give us the information of where those lorries are going to come in Alan Rock, especially in Saltley, because it's a densely populated area. Those lorries are like the width of a bus, and you can't just park them anywhere. And whilst they've got compartments made, and you can put in whatever you want to, what have you, mattresses, beds, sofas, it's wherever that lorry is parked, it'll be there for 4 or 5 hours on a particular day. Whilst it's a really good initiative, it worries me to see concern of where that lorry is going to be parked. Are they going to use it to drive around certain places on the ward? It'd be interesting to see. But as soon as I get that information from the local councillors, I will make sure that the community find out from our programme. But as I said, I did ask last week, and the message from the councillor was that yes, it's coming to Alan Rock, especially to Saltley. We're just waiting for a particular date.
yeah, I spoke to the councillor Miriam, and she said it's going to come. But we were waiting for a date at the time being. But at the moment, Hajil has had it, and then the next slot is Warden, and then Alan Rock's going to be after Warden.
Yeah. But there is another initiative from the local authority whereby if you book large bulky items, you can book in up to 6 items for a charge of £33. That also includes up to 20 black bags.
Yes.
So if you've got 5 black bags and your next door neighbour's got 5 black bags, and 5 households, 4 households have got 5 black bags each, that's 20 bags. Then just divide the cost by four of you, and it's like a couple of pounds each. So it's not as if like one individual has to pay. And I think our community needs to take advantage of that service, and that would make a massive difference because that would reduce the fly tipping that's happening in the area. And the other thing is that with regards to do you remember the special collections that used to happen once every few months?
Yes, I do remember. Yeah.
Do you remember those? Now,
Yeah.
do you remember if something like that should be introduced? What do you think?
It's up to the council and the council, depending on how much funding they have. A long time ago, they had a free skip service, and they used to bring you a skip, and then you could fill it in and they could take all the rubbish. But that was a long time ago. But I don't know if the council has got the funding to do that again.
Like the other thing I was thinking of is like me and you probably and a lot of the other activists in the area are probably creating a lot more work by reporting all these. And whilst, thank you to Birmingham City Council, they do send out the flying litter squad, and within 3 or 4 days they do pick the stuff up. But as soon as they pick it up and then somebody else fly tips somewhere else, so we just need to work out some type of a satisfactory solution to this. And I just wondered if you had any ideas of what else we can do.
Our local councillors, they need to bring the enforcement team to Allenbrook. And eventually, when they do get all the funding, which they're going to get, they will have on-the-spot fines, and they'll have cameras in hotspots. But at the moment, we've got a new initiative with these flowers planters in the areas, and they started in Bowsley Green and Smallheath, and now we got them on Ralph Road as well.
Yeah, that's thanks to Barry from MTF and Javed from Allenbrook Forum, and also Mohammed Ali. He's actively involved, and it's lovely that those planters have come in where there were consistent blighting of fly tipping, whether it was residential or most of it was trade, and hopefully that sent a strong message out to say that the community will not stand for that anymore. And also, one of the other positive things about it is that whilst these planters have been put in these hotspot areas, it's now the community's responsibility to come on board and periodically water them. And obviously, it's nice that you're walking past and you got some bit of greenery, some flowers. Whereas previously, when you walked past those roads that you've mentioned, you would just have stench coming out of those bags because they were there like for at least 2 to 3 weeks before they even were removed.
That's true, and we've got a hotspot on Harley Road where everything is being fly tipped everywhere.
And again, I think that's one of the hotspots for that camera initiative that's been talked about, because some of that stuff on Harley Road, certain individuals have reported certain individuals of fly tipping, and some of that could be trade fly tipping. So all we like to say to people is, if you've got somebody knocking on your door and saying, yeah, for £50 we'll take whatever rubbish you give me, check where that rubbish is going. Have they got a trade license, or are they just literally picking up the stuff from your door and throwing it somewhere else? And as you said, Brother Mukhtarim, if the council start investigating and it turns out that they've got your details on there, you are liable for it. And the person who dumped it, yeah, he's got away with it, but you are liable because they'll trace it back to you.
Yeah, a few months back, on the corner between Jersey and George Arthur Road, there was a black bag. So I put my hand in the black bag, and I found the address of the owner. As soon as I mentioned it, one of the neighbours from my road heard it, and when I came back out, the bag had disappeared.
MashaAllah. Yeah,
but if that was an enforcement officer, he would have prosecuted him. There would have been no warning, no nothing, because he left his address inside the bag.
Well, I think the momentum from the community is that enough is enough. The community needs to do something about it, and initiatives like yourself with litter picking, frequent litter picking. The Soakley Community Welfare Group are active with the litter picking in Soakley. Allenbrook Community Forum are active in Ward End, Washwood Heath. Javed is active in Bowsley Green with the mosque initiative.
Yes, he is,
and that is fantastic. Lovely planters there as well. Furthermore, you've got the mosques involved after Jummah prayer on a Friday.
Yes.
And I think we need to get more of our mosque elders involved, whereby we don't expect the elders to pick up the litter, but more importantly, encourage the youngsters to get involved, and more importantly, get the youngsters to get involved and help out, because that would be a massive difference. And ultimately, we want to be in a position where the message goes across to the people that don't litter the streets, take it home. pick it up and take it home. Don't throw it into the street, because somebody else is going to pick that up for you.
And very soon next year you got the Commonwealth Games, and I mentioned in all of my meetings, Birmingham needs to be spotless and clean area, roads, pavements, potholes all need to be removed, because we're going to get top class Commonwealth Games next year in July, and we need to clean Birmingham and have it spotless and clean. Even the Metro Mayor Andy Street said we need 1,000 volunteers to clean the streets, because Birmingham is in a very bad way. Spark Hill, Sparkbrook, Allenbrook, all in a very, very bad way.
Unfortunately, all the inner city areas have been blighted with litter. But furthermore, what you got to understand is that these visitors will be coming from all around the world. Whilst the games, majority of the games will be based around the Alexandra Stadium in Paribas. There'll be events throughout the city, Edgbaston Cricket Ground. There'll be events in our locality. But people who come don't just come for the games. They like to go to the areas where they are Asian populated areas. They like to go to the Asian restaurants and what have you. And you don't want visitors to see that, we're a filthy city as well. So yeah, that as you rightly just said, is a very good impetus for us to make sure that we all get involved as active citizens and take part in picking up our litter and cleaning our streets.
So at the end of the day, we all should keep Britain tidy. We all live in Britain, so we should keep it tidy and clean. So when all these important visitors come in July next year, they can see a very clean Birmingham. So it says, when they see the sign, it says, "Welcome to Birmingham." So it's welcome to a clean Birmingham. So everything needs to be spotless. We don't want to see dead rats everywhere, dead mice and everything. Because at the moment, that's happening in Spark Hill, Sparkbrook, Allenbrook, everywhere. And I've been around all the areas, because I go for walks around a lot of areas, and I've seen it. And if some of the councillors are not doing much, I even email the councillors and tell them about it. And I've already done it in Ladypool, and I've done it in Sparkbrook, and I've told the councillors, and we emailed them all. I've all the phone numbers and email addresses.
I know, as I said, you've been very active, because as part of your community activist work, you're very active, and you're not just active in Suckley. You do go out and about, and you go into the other areas as well. And also, you're privileged enough to go towards Solihull, and you know how nice and clean that Solihull is, and that's what you want you to do. You want to bring that model to Suckley, and it can be done if the community takes responsibility for litter. That goes whether it's the street traders, or whether it's the shopkeepers, or whether it's the households. It's everybody's responsibility to keep our streets litter free.
But now I've noticed some people, like in Wright Road, there was an old man, he was sweeping up the road. Then on Gowan Road, the barber shop and the other businessman got up and started sweeping the road, which is good. Shows, people like to see the area clean, because they don't like seeing all these rubbish bags all dumped everywhere.
I have definitely noticed people are making an effort. As you walk around, you can see people are making an effort. People are cleaning their front gardens. People are hosing their windows down. And now that we're towards the end of summer into autumn, people are hosing their front windows down, cleaning their front gardens, sweeping all the rubbish. And all we encourage people to do is sweep all your rubbish, but don't throw it into the road. Just pile it up on the side, put it in a black bag and in the bin, not just put it on the road and get somebody else to pick it up.
Yes. Because I like to see a spotless, clean area, and I don't like to see broken bottles and nails all lying around on the road. Because at the end of the day, people are driving their cars, and nobody wants a nail in their tyre.
Yeah. And also, what you got to remember is that if somebody puts a can on a street, and even if it's a drink bottle, soft drinks can, a drinks bottle, any one of those can puncture a tyre, and look at the knock-on effect that you are causing harm to other members of the community as well. And that can, that bottle will not go anywhere unless somebody physically picks it up and puts it in the bin. So why put it there in the first place? Why cause that grievance for somebody else to physically pick that up? That is an obstacle that shouldn't be there in the first place. And when you are out and about, with your litter picking. What do members of the community say to you? Have you had any positives?
Oh yeah, a few of them were praising me, saying, "How can you be doing this? This must be a very hard job because you're just on your own." And they're amazed that day when I was cleaning my road for 7.5 hours, how one guy was doing so much work, and it was really warm. I remember because when I finished, all my body was aching so much.
No, mashallah, you did a fantastic job that day. And just to quickly round up our program this evening, one final message to the community. What would you like to say?
All brothers and sisters and all the residents in Birmingham, Allen Block, Spark Hill, Sparkpool, keep your area clean and tidy because we don't want dead rats, we don't want dead mice, we don't want any of that around in the area because all them things spread diseases at the end of the day. We're living with COVID and we don't want more diseases with dead mouses and dead rats everywhere.
Viewers and listeners, thank you very much. We're coming up to the end of my program. Once again, really appreciate the time and effort that you've taken to listen to me. And as always, you can listen again to this program, and it'll be available on our YouTube page. And to advertise and sponsor the program, 07944 808 141. Furthermore, if there's any community program initiative that you want us to cover on our community talk show, please drop us a line. We'll do our best to invite you into the studio and promote any community activity. And once again, thank you very much for your time, and until next week, thank you for listening, and Khada Hafiz.